Hi, y'all. I'm Linda Greenberg. Welcome to my podcast, Southern Gardens. I've been a professional landscape designer in the Carolinas for over 30 years. In this podcast series, I'll be sharing fabulous gardening tips, planting strategies, and interviewing garden experts from all around the world. So with each garden that I go to create, the first step, of course, is meeting the client. So as I'm driving through the neighborhood to meet with this client that I've never met with before, I'm paying attention to all the homes that are leading up to their home. And then when I pull in their driveway, what does that feel like? Going up there from the driveway to the sidewalk to the front door, how does that look? Is it inviting? Is it warm? Is it special? Like, I want to create like ambiance, like in a reflection of the lifestyle of the people that live in that home. And so once I meet with the client, I go in and, of course, find out what they want. What are they looking for? What do they think they want in the garden? Most of the time, people just have some ideas, and they just want beautiful spaces. They may have children or pets or special needs, or maybe they want a swimming pool specifically, or an outdoor dining area. So all of these things are taken into consideration. I jot notes down. I'm very old school. I jot notes down, and all of those notes will actually, at the end of the day, bring me to the end of a beautiful garden design for that particular client that is a custom for them. So typically when I walk through that door, I'm looking out every window, every door. I'm paying attention to their art, the type of clothes they wear. Are they real modern? Are they more traditional? What are their favorite colors in the art, the rugs, the furniture? What does it look like? And then, stroll out to, let's say, the exterior of the rear elevation, whether that's a screened patio or a lanai. How does that play in and connect to the outer spaces, the outer gardens, the garden rooms? How does that connect? So it's really important to use the same materials, repetition, and paying attention to scale, placement. Also, a biggie is your next door neighbor. What do they have that you either love or don't love? How do you embellish that to best serve your purposes for beautifying your garden spaces? So I always think about your hardscapes first, because that typically I like to involve that after I do drainage, the functional items like drainage, irrigation, laying outdoor lighting, or any type of any kind of underground situations. Irrigation is very important. I rarely do a garden without an irrigation system. And then I go from there. Okay, let's say they want a swimming pool. Well, a swimming pool, there's a certain amount of square footage that you need for that, for a livable space. How many people live in the house? How many adults? How many children? Do they have pets? If so, what type and what size? That tells you a lot. Do they have, is it a multi-generational family, or do they entertain a lot? That's huge. If people entertain a lot, they want to be outdoors a lot. They want to have the fire pits and the outdoor kitchens and the swimming pools and even outdoor fireplaces, kids' play areas, putting greens. Putting greens are huge. To make it theirs. It's a custom situation, so when they walk outside, that they feel like it's just an outer experience of their inner home. Also, another thing to consider whenever I'm talking to my clients is, hey, the designing an outdoor space is really no different than designing an interior of a home. The sky is your ceiling, the floor is the ground, and your walls are your perimeter or property lines. What is in that? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And then you go from there. Do you have any elevation changes that we have to consider? Grading, drainage, all of that needs to be taken in consideration first. Then that's always the functional items. Then comes the pretty. After you've done the hardscape, then I always like to know, what are their favorite trees? Do they have any symbolic trees or plant materials that reminded them of their grandmother or their parents, or some of their favorite things, whether they like vegetable or herb gardens or cutting gardens, or just simply show up, look good, 24/7, 365, which is always fun. A lot of people like to have like a little space to play in the garden, and other than that, they want it to look great. Low maintenance is always a big thing, so making sure you're paying attention to what is wildlife in your area. What is wildlife in your area? Is it, do you have, well, I'm in South Carolina, so we have alligators and lots of deer and rabbits and things of that sort. So you have to really kind of think of that, how you're going to enclose that, what is it going to look like when you do that without compromising the integrity of the garden and the design. So basically every garden, whenever I start, has all these notes. I probably have 15 to 20 pages and probably 100 or so questions in my brain that have to be answered before I even start on a design. The number one thing a client has to give me is their dreams and their hopes for their garden. That's number one. Number two is their plot or survey. I need to know what that looks like on the land, on the property itself. And then once I start the design, then I flow into what I call their lifestyle. Lifestyle is huge. It's very important for a family to feel like it's an extension of who they are and also adding value to their home. And speaking of value to the home, you'd never want to overbuild for a home's value. Paying attention to those type of things, walking a client through like all of their questions, answering them to the best of your knowledge, and quite frankly, being very honest with them and saying, hey, if you want this garden, it's going to cost X amount of dollars. Be realistic. Don't think that you're going to go in and put in a $200 tree and you want it to look like it's been there for 10 years. That's just not a realistic goal. Also, buying quality plant materials or quality materials are huge. That will make all the difference. It's truly in the details of the garden. Quite frankly, making a garden makes your life so beautiful. It's an extension of who you are, just to get out and enjoy it every day of your life. Thank you for growing with us on the Southern Gardens podcast. You can stream all of our episodes on Spotify. To inquire about our services, advertising, or getting involved with the podcast, please email us at southerngardenspodcast@gmail.com. You can also visit our Instagram at Southern Gardens Podcast. Stay in bloom. Until next time, happy gardening.